What is up, YouTube? It's Lions Fan Express coming at you with that man-to-man press. And in today's video, I'm going to start a new series called Diamond in the Rough, where we go over NFL draft prospects that I think can be potential hits in the 2023 NFL draft. Now, these are guys that, are considered later round picks that aren't getting as much attention. They're kind of getting slept on a little bit, but have really, they're low risk, high reward kind of players. They have a lot of potential, and I think that they can, make an impact in the NFL at a high level. So, with that being said, to start off the series, I'm going to start off with the quarterback from UCLA, Dorian Thompson Robinson, and I'm going to give you guys some, my thoughts and opinions on him and why I think he is a diamond in the rough. So, if you guys didn't know, Dorian Thompson Robinson, also known as DTR, is a quarterback from UCLA. He's 6'1", 205 pounds. I watched his games against Oregon, Washington, and USC, and then I also got to watch him a little bit in the East-West Shrine Bowl game. So my quarterback comparison for DTR is actually Tyrod Taylor. Now, I actually think he's more accurate than Tyrod Taylor is, but the athleticism, the height, the weight, the play style, all those things kind of factor in, and he definitely plays a lot like Tyrod Taylor. But I think that he has an even higher ceiling than Tyrod Taylor, and that's even as a starting quarterback in the NFL at one point in his career. So, DTR is a dual threat quarterback. He's able to manipulate the pocket and escape using his legs, so he's a great athlete. He has the ability to throw off different platforms, able to use different arm angles to get the ball out. He goes through his progressions. That's one thing that you don't see a lot of quarterbacks, especially in these one-read RPO systems. Usually they just kind of like read one player, one side of the field, and throw wherever the defender's not. DTR doesn't do that. He actually goes through his progressions. Obviously having Chip Kelly being your head coach and calling the plays, you're running more of a little bit more of a spread, air raid kind of concepts. So you're going through more progressions and doing more of those kind of passing concepts that you would see at that level. But, he does a really good job going through his progressions. If the option one isn't open, he'll turn his head and look to see if he can find his second and third option, which reminds me, he's not afraid to dump the ball off either. He will check down if he needs to, if no one's open, and he'll try to get as many yards as he can to that player. But he can put the ball on the string. That is one thing. He is accurate, and he's got good velocity on his ball. Like, when you look at his accuracy for this year, he threw 69.6%. That's top 10. That he was an amazing, accurate quarterback this year, and he was able to fit the ball into tight windows and get the ball to his receivers, and it was definitely very effective this season. Overall, he can telegraph his throws at times. Sometimes he does stare down receivers, and that honestly leads to a high level of interceptions that you'd like to see him cut down a bit. He had 10 interceptions this season. So that's something that he does need to work on. Again, this is kind of why he is a later round pick, along with some other things. But I think that's coachable. I think that, sometimes it is, it's not always the quarterback's fault that the ball is intercepted. Sometimes you got to go look at it and say, okay, was it, the quarterback? Or did he actually throw it to the defender, or did the receiver drop it, or not run the right route? All those things can factor into why the ball is picked off. But still like to see him cut down on those interceptions. He's got an okay arm strength, but his deep ball game is kind of shaky. You don't see him press the ball downfield a lot. So that's something too that he is limited in. But he's a gritty player. He'll do everything he can to get as many yards as he can. So when he tucks that ball and runs, when he's scrambling, he's not afraid to fall down and try to get as many yards. He's got to learn to slide, I think, so he doesn't have to take hits. But it just goes to show you that he's a gutsy player, and he's got that kind of grit that a lot of teams are looking for. So I really like his tape, honestly. Watching him, I didn't think I was like, oh yeah, I kind of knew a little bit about him, but I actually really liked his tape, and I'm just surprised that he's not getting more hype in this draft. Of course, you have a handful of prospects, quarterbacks that are getting projected to go in the first round. And while I don't think DTR is that level of a quarterback, I definitely think he's an interesting prospect that can be taken, honestly, as early as the third round. Right now he's projected as a 6th round, and that honestly might where he might be where he goes. But I think he's actually better than that. I think he provides some good talent, some good experience. He had 5 years in college, so he's 23, so he's a little bit older, more mature, and he's got some things he's got to clean up, but you're not asking him to come in right away and be a starter. Like, he could definitely be a quarterback you put behind another quarterback, have him develop, and he can definitely be a good backup, and then eventually he'll be a starter at the NFL. So I really think if a team takes a chance on him, they're getting a really good player. And then it's definitely someone who I think that even if the Lions, for example, if they decide to not go quarterback early, that's definitely a quarterback I'd love to see in the later rounds, because I think he provides an element to the game that you just don't see in a lot of players. But yeah, so that is my first diamond in the rough prospect. If you guys like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about DTR down below in the comment section, where you think he's gonna go in the NFL draft. And yeah, I'm gonna keep these videos going. I like to do these prospect breakdowns and kind of get you guys a feel for some of these players that could be really rising stars and hidden talents in the NFL draft. So with that being said, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and go Lions.